TikTok Takeover. Stick around and listen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about Mr. Larry Ellison, who I think many of you might have heard of. I'm going to explore Mr. Ellison's life. I don't know if many of you know, Larry Ellison's over 200 years old. He came out of the ghetto of Poland probably about 200 years ago. He started off selling herring at the market. I think it was Poland, or maybe it was Austria. I'm not sure. And he survived through many, many hardships working with the Rothschilds, and survived the Holocaust, of course. And then he came to America in around 1945 as a small boy, and grew up in America and became a billionaire. And recently he replaced Elon Musk as richest man in the world, ladies and gentlemen. Larry Ellison's the richest man in the world, and he works very, very close with our dear friend, President Trump. So we must think he must be one of the good guys, right? Well, don't be so sure. There was a meeting recently. I'm not sure who it was. It was held at the kind of, the volcano, George Soros's volcano. It's very similar to the one that Blofeld had in the Bond movies, and it's like this thing comes out, and then the helicopters come in from all the various globalists and the Zionists from around the world, and they sit around a big kind of table like in Dr. Strangelove, right? They sit around and they talk. And I think, look, I have to check my notes here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a look. I think it was little Jaime Goldstein. He was saying, look, I'm sorry, Mr. Soros, Mr. Ellison, and Sergey Brin and Mark Zuckerberg and everybody. I said, look, I hate to point this out to you boys, but I think there's some social media we don't own. What? No, that's not possible. What are you talking about, Jaime? And they said, yeah, it's true. We don't own TikTok. And I'm like, Jaime's right. We don't. And then Jaime pointed out, he said, did you know that on TikTok, young people don't like Israel? And there's like thousands of, and Nick Fuentes is really popular, and Candace Owens is going crazy, and Tucker Carlson's going off there. And what? Okay, so it was emergency time, ladies and gentlemen. There was a part of media that they did not own. Apparently, China owned TikTok, and of course, Donald Trump, quick on the phone. We're gonna have to do something about TikTok. I think even before that, in the Biden administration, of course, they called up all the friends they have there, and they began to put the pressure on TikTok. Basically saying either we ban it or you sell it to someone friendly to us. So Larry Ellison put his hand up and said, "Listen, I'm the richest man in the world. Forget Elon Musk. I'm going to buy it. I think I'll buy it." So at the moment, that's what's happening. You've got a person by the name of Weiss. I don't know how you pronounce that name. He's also working for Mr. Ellison, and she has been put into oversee SBS. Apparently, they're involved in maybe canning Jimmy Kimmel, so maybe not everybody is bad. So anyway, look, it just appears that there was this one thing that they didn't own, and that they're now in the process of purchasing it. Now, of course, if China were doing this, if China owned every piece of media in America, you'd think, what's going on here? I mean, is the Chinese Communist Party up to something? I mean, what are they? It's a bit unusual that they own everything. But no one seems to worry that, the globalists and the Zionists own everything in American media, and that there was one tiny little fragment of media they didn't own, which is called TikTok, that now Mr. Larry Ellison is buying. Well, he can look back to his days selling herring in Poland 200 years ago, and when he survived the Holocaust, to think, well, finally we'll own that, and that will put to bed any problems we have. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. So there it is. TikTok will soon be as kosher as a kosher meal in Caulfield. Thank you very much.